buds, and welcome to episode 39 of the Harsh Vocals Podcast. I'm your host, Justin Corbett, and with me is my good friend, Christian Renner. How are you doing today, man?
Pretty good. Just happy to be alive. That seems
That's
to be
what you always say.
Yeah, I'm just happy to be alive. Well, you know, when you get to be a certain age, like moi, our discussion topic is talking about strange merch items, and just to foreshadow a little bit, some Ozzy merch. And hey, just so you know, I was alive when Ozzy bit the head off of that bat. So,
were you at that show though?
I was not. No, I was only 13, and I was not living in Iowa at the time, and that did happen in Des Moines.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering.
Yeah, no, I was not living here then. So, yeah, unfortunately, that would have been definitely interesting to see. And 13-year-old me definitely would have been at that show because I did see Ozzy with Motley Crue opening up for them at age 14, I think.
Nice.
Oh, the good old days.
Well, as you mentioned, our topic for this episode is unusual merch. And there's been a lot of that being discussed in the news, at least on all the metal sites for the last couple of weeks. So I felt like it was a pretty fun topic to bring to the show. But before we get into that, of course, we're going to talk about our favorite music from the past 2 weeks. And we're going to start out with one of Christian's picks, and this is the band Anger Machine.
Alrighty, we have Anger Machine. The album is called Human Error. We have thrash/groove. Shocking. I'm picking a thrash album from the Netherlands. This here's their second full length, and there's going to be a very prominent theme of this episode, especially for my picks. They're unsigned. Second full length. The track that I picked is a song called Parasite, and listen to that riff and tell me it shouldn't be a pick. That's all I can say about that. That riff is just filthy. This is one of those thrash albums that you just absolutely know is going to crush in a live setting. This is pit music throughout this whole album. This is going to be a fun-ass concert, and there's going to be tons of mosh pits going on there. Completely rooted in a Bay Area thrash vibe, but the production's very clean and modern sounding. So any fan of thrash, old or new, will find something to like on this album. The only nitpick I have, and it's very minor, is the very few clean vocals you get on here. And as little as is on here, because there's not a lot, but the little that is on here, hey, fellas, just cut it out. Just don't put them on there because they're not good. And they kind of detract.
Yeah, that's the case for most bands, man. That's why we do the Harsh Vocals Podcast. Like we generally don't like the cleans unless they're well done. Yeah, I've got a few of those too in my list. But anyhow, this Anger Machine album, I did not hear it when it first released. I didn't hear it until this morning, actually, when you sent me your list. And I actually enjoyed it for the most part. I agree with you. The cleans aren't great, but the thrash riffs are killer. It's a really fun album from beginning to end. And I think people will like it. Yeah. So,
I mean, they're called Anger Machine, but they have that more happy kind of thrash sound. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like Anthrax kind of sounds happy compared to Slayer, Yeah. So they're all about having a good time. Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's go ahead and play the track. Again, this is Anger Machine off of their new album, Human Error. And the track that Christian picked is called Parasite.
From the depths of hell, you're looking disgusting and frightening as well. Like a blood-sucking insect, you take what you need. Selfish little fucker, driven by greed. Like a parasite, you're sucking all my energy, leaving me depleted, faded, empty. You take and give nothing at all. You're just a life-sucking parasite. You take and give nothing at all. You're just a shitty little parasite.
Man,
pretty sure that was my
fucking riff. Ugh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was my favorite track on the album too. When I listened to it this morning, it's definitely catchy.
Yeah, yeah. I just remember when that riff kicked in, I was like, "Holy fuck, that's the song right there."
Well, moving on, my first pick for the episode is a band called Stygian, or Stygian. Not sure which one.
I think it's Stygian.
They put out an album called Dreadlands. This is blackened death/groove/crust metal from Italy. It's their debut album. They've been around since 2024. The album really explores differences between like pagan and Abrahamic religions, and it takes a lot of shots at Christianity, which, you know, I'm always okay with. The album itself is very short. It's only 32 minutes, 10 songs. Everything seems to go by super quick. There's no bloat on this album whatsoever. It's just very fun, aggressive, in your face. There's lots of melody, and it's really well done. I love the vocals, although I think that the particular style of singing they do may not be for everyone. It really gelled with me. For fans of, which I'm trying to do better at, I put This Gift is a Curse, Wake, Wormwitch, and Doddsrit. I feel like it kind of encapsulates a lot of similar sounds to those 4 bands. But I like this album a lot. This was definitely my third most listened to album of the cycle. I probably heard it 15 times or so. It's really, really good. Did you hear this one, Christian?
I actually liked it a lot. It has a very kind of heavy feel to it. The songs are heavy, like very aggressive, very heavy. But the songwriting is super intricate, and they do that all without losing that heaviness, which is usually kind of hard to do because you get a little flowery on the guitar or whatever, and you lose some of that crushing feel. But they mix those two elements together really, really well. And I have come to appreciate 30 to 40 minute albums because it definitely feels like you're putting your best 40 minutes forward. Right. I think a lot of those albums where, you know, you're clocking in at an hour plus, you're just adding unnecessary shit, or you have probably 2 songs that just aren't that good that you should probably leave off. Self-editing is a wonderful thing.
Yeah. No, and I completely agree. I think that, you know, 40 minutes or less is a sweet spot, especially for death metal bands. You know, atmospheric black metal obviously can go longer, but that's just the format. But sometimes it goes too long. Sometimes there is too many songs or too much floweriness, and it leads to bloat. But not with these guys. These guys are very succinct. You can tell they edited, and this is really just a tight album.
Yeah, I think that we had an album just a couple of weeks ago that had just way too many fucking songs on it. The Shadow of a Tent album. I think they had like 14 or 15 songs. Yeah. And I mean, I really, really like that album, but man, you take 3 songs off of it, it's infinitely better.
I agree.
Infinitely better.
Yeah, it's just too long. That's the problem with that one. But anyhow, let's go and play the track from Stygian. Again, this is off their album Dreadlands, and the track that I picked is the first one off the album, which is called Death Rite. Hope you guys enjoy it.
Striving hard, eating for best.
Man, I love that groove.
That's actually my favorite song on the album too. I mean, it hit me right away. I was like,
right away,
I'd be shocked if this isn't going to be a pick.
Yeah. And the whole album's like that. I mean, the songs are varied, and there's a lot of different kind of sounds from each one because they do have a lot of different styles built into their music. Mm-hmm. But they all sort of kind of sound kind of like this one. You can definitely tell it's the same band. It's nothing like that.
Yeah.
So I really, really dug this, and I hope you guys check it out. The whole album's great. I will say, though, there are 41 bands named Stygian on Metallum, so make sure you find the right one. The album is called Dreadlands. So,
and I mean, honestly, the only reason I know it's Stygian is the Iced Earth song Traveling Stygian.
Makes sense. All right. Well, let's move on to the next one. This is Christian's pick. Again, this is the band Anheim.
All right. We have Anheim, Die Welt, die wir berüben. Even my German is kind of bad on that. Holy shit.
Better you than me.
This is Mellow Black from Würzburg, Germany. Second album again, unsigned, yet again. And if you're wondering what Die Welt, die wir berüben means, it is the world we buried. So take that for what you want. Ascheschrein is the track that I picked, and that just means Ascheschrein. And this here's Mellow Black, so you're going to get a lot of the lyrics are going to be exactly what you think they are. One thing that I've really noticed is how prominent the bass is on the mix here, which is surprising for a black metal album. And also found out that PG from Groza is actually responsible for this mix. And I got to say, I'm pretty impressed with the result. The added depth he gives everything, it just ended up expanding everything as a whole. And another one of those albums that rewards repeated listens. As the more of this album you listen to, the more it seems to open up. But far and away, the biggest thing that impressed me was the high in the mix bass sound, which I don't think I've ever heard a black metal album that had the bass that high up in the mix.
I don't think I have either. It definitely adds an interesting layer to it. I like this album a lot. I listened to it 5 or 6 times. I do feel like it's got the slightest amount of bloat on it. And maybe some of the songs are just a little bit inconsistent, like in how they flow between one to the next. But those are very, very nitpicky things. Overall, it's a fantastic melodic black metal album. And if it wasn't a pick for you, it would have been something I would have seriously considered as a pick. Definitely one of the strongest releases of this 2-week cycle. And I mean, we haven't really talked about the cycle, but it was not the strongest 2-week cycle of the year by far. There was like 6 to 8 really good albums, and then everything else was okay or worse.
Yeah. I have plenty of honorable mentions, but I had all my listening done for the podcast by Tuesday.
Same.
And I'm never that quick. I'm usually like day before I'm still listening to stuff and putting notes together, and I was done on Tuesday. Yeah.
The last week of the cycle, there was only like 25 releases or something. It was an incredibly small week anyways. So yeah, I was in the same boat. Like I got all my listening done right away, and I've just been going back and listening to older stuff from the year that I've loved, or even from last year or the year before, pretty much for the last few days. So it's been nice to have that palate cleanse and not have to stress about the show when so many other things are stressing me out.
Oddly enough, I've, for like the last 3 days, I've been on a hardcore fucking Suicidal Tendencies fucking kick. I've just been listening to everything Suicidal Tendencies for about the last 2 to 3 days.
Well, ever since Cattle Decapitation announced their Death Atlas tour, where they're playing Death Atlas in its entirety, I've just been on a Cattle Decapitation kick. So pretty much every day I've gone back and listened to at least 1 or 2 Cattle Decap albums.
That should be a fun tour.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, we'll talk more about that during the pickups. But back to Anheim. I really love this album. I thought it was great. If you like melodic black metal with a little bit of atmosphere building, you really can't go wrong with this. So let's go ahead and play the track. Again, this is Anheim off of their album. I'll let you say it, Christian, because I can't say it right.
Die Welt wie dir begrüben.
And the track is called
Ascheschrein.
There you go. Enjoy. Yeah, I think that's my favorite track on the album, too. It's really, really good.
And I'm sure German people, if anybody from Germany is listening to this, yeah, I'm sorry. I swear I'm German. It's just been a really long time. Really long damn time.
It's still better than I would have done.
Wow. I seriously speak German now with an American accent, which is hilarious.
All right, well, moving on to my next pick. This is one of the albums that I've been looking forward to the most this year, ever since I heard it was going to be released. Imperial, Crystalline, Entombment, the only good Ice, even though they're evil, released an album called Abominable Astral Summoning. If you're not familiar with Imperial, Crystalline, Entombment, they're black metal from Maryland. They've been around since 2004, and in 2004 they released an album called Apocalyptic End in White, and then they disappeared for 19 years. And then they came back and released an album called Ancient Glacial Resurgence. And I love it because on their first album, they begin the very first track with, "We are fucking ice." And then when they come back with the second album, they're like, "We are still fucking ice." And that's always made me laugh.
So they haven't thought out.
Yeah, their whole shtick is that they've been possessed by this anti-god from another dimension called Raviskeith, who intends to bring upon a glacial apocalypse through their music. And every single song across 3 albums is all about how they're going to encase the world in ice and freeze everybody and, using ice magic and stuff. I mean, literally every single lyric is somehow related to cold or ice or frost or freezing. And it's impressive that they've managed to write like 40 songs that are all in the same theme. I love these guys, I love their whole gimmick. I love the music. The first 2 albums I adore, and I've listened to them hundreds of times. This one I like a lot. I feel like it's maybe slightly bloated compared to the last 2, but there's still some absolute bangers on it. There's really catchy songs. The song I'm going to play was one of the singles that came out, and it's what got me so hyped up anticipating this too. It's just fantastic. But I love Ice. They're doing something different. And one of the things that I think is so cool about them is that they've managed to keep their identities mysterious this entire time across 21 years of doing this. People still don't know who they are. They've kept their mystique, which a lot of other black metal bands fail to do, even if they do, the whole mask thing. So kind of cool to see one of them actually succeed at it.
Well, one thing that I can say 100% for this band is even if they do bring about this end of the world covered in ice, still not the worst ice out there. There we go.
That's what I said. They're the only good ice, even though they're evil. Ice
out there. Yeah. I'm not super familiar with this band. Like you said, the years in between releases and stuff. But the main word I would use to describe them is relentless. This is, it's from the very beginning to the very end. They just don't fucking stop. But also, I'd throw imaginative in there. They have some parts in there that are truly like nothing you've heard on other black metal albums. And
agreed.
So, it rewards and really helps giving this repeated listens. And you have the vinyl, right?
I have the vinyl for this one. Yeah, I pre-ordered it, and I have their second album as well. The first album has never been repressed, and it's super hard to find copies. I've never seen it for less than like $150. I don't know if anybody out there has duplicate copies and wants to send me one for my birthday or something. I'd be very appreciative because I really want a copy of the first one and I can't find it.
Yeah, but this is definitely one of those albums that seems like it would translate better on vinyl than it would digital.
Oh yeah, it sounds massive on vinyl. The mix is so good on both vinyl recordings.
That's the one thing that I could picture right away.
Yeah, it's really good. And I think everybody will like the track I'm going to play. If you're a fan of black metal at all, if you don't like this, then you probably won't like any of the other stuff, but I hope you do. So, again, this is Imperial, Crystalline, Entombment off their album Abominable Astral Summoning, and the track that I chose to play is called Phantoms of Ice. frosty.
Yeah. Relentless.
Yeah.
They just, not a whole lot of slowing down on that.
There's really not. And they've been doing a lot of touring the last couple of years since they've come back. And everybody I've seen that's been to one of their shows has just commented on how incredible they are live. I really hope I get the opportunity to see them because they are quickly becoming one of my favorite U.S. black metal bands. So hopefully they tour my area at some point.
I might actually have to pick up this vinyl.
I think you'd like it on vinyl. Yeah, it's really good. All right. Well, let's move on to our next pick, which is one that Christian and I both agree is one of the strongest albums to come out in this cycle and in this year. This is the band Sarastus.
To put it this way, this is my highest rated album of the year. I've gone to doing a track-by-track rating for everything to make it easier when I get to the end of the year, and this is my highest rated album so far. We have Sarastus. The album is called Agony and Eternal. We have black metal from Kempele, Finland. This is their third album, and they're unsigned. The track that I picked is From Pride to Shame to Misery. And when I first heard this by track 2, I was already texting Justin that I'm listening to an album that is so far in his wheelhouse that it almost seems like they were that you were personally giving them creative direction during the writing process. At the first, I liked it, but I thought the production was thin. And I figured that would be a problem for me because I'm usually not a fan of thin production. Then I just kept coming back to this album over and over and over and over again, ad nauseum. And it has since become my highest rated album of the year. I think I gave it a 9.6, which is incredibly high. And I think my favorite thing about this album is this is black metal, but it has all these hooks that you would find in more laid-back music. I don't think I have ever heard a more, quote, catchy album of black metal ever. This is just super catchy. This here's, like the super catchy parts that Sidon puts in their stuff, but just a whole album's worth. This is simply a must-listen-to album. If you like black metal at all, give this a listen. And this really feels like you put Spectral Wound, Gorgoroth, and Garia in a blender, and all that came out is everything as good as you'd hoped it would be. So, I just love this album. I absolutely adore this album. I so wish this was available on vinyl. I would probably buy 2 or 3 copies of it. So, my highest suggestion, go listen to this album. And bear in mind, this is coming from somebody that this is more in Justin's wheelhouse than it is mine.
And oddly, I love the album too. I think it's just masterfully done. I think it's incredible. But I've been going through a lot the last couple of weeks just in my personal life, just crazy stuff happening. And for some reason, this album didn't grab me the same way it's grabbed Christian. I mean, I love it. I agree with him that, technically it's one of the best albums of the year. And I'll be shocked if by the end of the year, it's not in my top, 20 somewhere. I don't know if it'll be my best album of the year. There was one album that I listened to way more than anything else over the last 2 weeks, but it's very much a mood album that has been helping me deal with everything I've been going through. So sometimes timing matters when you're evaluating things. And as much as I love the Sarastus album, and I do think it's absolutely incredible, it is not my number one pick for the episode.
That's fair. I mean, music hits people, differently based on, what's going on in your life. So I completely understand that. So, yeah. But
I give it my full endorsement as well. You absolutely must listen to the entire album. We both feel like it's going to be one of the strongest albums of the year. So even though I haven't given it as much attention at this point as I should have probably, I will definitely give it more by the end of the year. So
yeah, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, let's go ahead and play the track again. This is Sarastus off of their album Agony Eternal, and the track that Christian picked is From Pride to Shame to Misery. God, that's such a good track, man.
Yeah, it is. So fucking strong.
Yeah. Well, the whole album is. It's really a masterfully done album. I'll reiterate that. People should absolutely check out this one. If you check out only one from the entire episode, this is the one to listen to.
Yeah.
But moving on to a mood album, and one that has been on repeat for me for the last 2 weeks, Weald and Woe put out their latest album, Far From the Light of Heaven. This is melodic black metal from Idaho, their third full-length album since 2018. It's very epic with moments of catchiness. This is an album that has zero bloat, very tight songwriting, very intentional use of ambience. It's very emotionally driven too, which, you know, is a big thing for me. And especially when I'm going through stuff, I tend to gravitate towards that type of music. I couldn't get enough of this. I've been listening to this, like I said, almost on nonstop repeat. I'm like at 40 or 45 listens or something for the last 2 weeks. So I could not endorse this album more. I absolutely love it. And I ordered it on vinyl too. I pre-ordered it from Fiat, which is the record label. I don't think it's supposed to actually get pressed until September, but I'm eagerly anticipating it showing up.
All right,
what did you think of this one, Christian?
I actually looked for this on vinyl and I couldn't find it. I was like, all right, well, so they must have announced it after I looked or something.
Maybe. Well, it's not on their Bandcamp. You have to go to the Fiat Productions Bandcamp to find it. Yeah.
Oh,
because I did the same thing. I couldn't find it initially.
And because I have in my notes here, this definitely needs a vinyl release. And I like this a lot too, which is surprising because there's moments of doom in here that I actually like. And people that know me know that I'm not a big fan of doom, but if it's done in a certain way, I really, really dig it. And the doom in here, it sounds really fucking good to me. This is heavy. This is a heavy fucking album. It almost feels like, when you're listening to it, like you're putting one of those, you ever wear one of those, those pregnancy things to show a guy what it's like to be pregnant, the weight that you carry? Okay. It almost feels like one of those weight things that you're putting over your shoulders, you know, and just,
like a weighted vest is dragging you down.
Yeah,
it kind of fluctuates because there are definitely parts in the album that are heavy enough to drag you down, but there are other parts that are very uplifting and cathartic, almost in the same way that like the last Dosred album was, very like hopeful kind of sounding music. There's also parts that just make you feel like you want to throw a cape on and go fight some knights at a castle. Like it feels very epic and like medieval at times too.
Well, I think that's what it is about the doom that I like in this, because it does transfer. If it's just doom and doom and doom, I do get fucking bored with it. And because it's just slow and plodding and like, all right, this song sounds, you know, very similar to the last one, you know, slow and plodding. But this one here has those doom elements, and then it just takes it and the song kind of explodes and goes a different direction. And so it makes that doom section sound better. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or it sounds heavier when you do get away from it.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I like about it.
Yeah,
I'm doing a terrible job of explaining it.
I don't think I did a great job of explaining it either. The previous albums from Weald and Woe, I honestly feel like they were a little bit more doom-driven than this one. And this one's much more of a straightforward melodic black metal album that has some of those elements in it. Like, I remember listening to their previous albums and feeling like they were much slower paced. And it didn't quite click with me. But this one, for whatever reason, the small changes they've made have just grabbed me and won't let go. Like I said, I adore this album. And if you like bands like Gus Verlant or Majesties, basically anything Carl Skildum does, you probably like this as well. It fits into that kind of vibe very, 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 very neatly. So it's excellent. That's really all I can say. Yeah. So let's go ahead and play the track. Again, this is Weald and Woe off their new album, Far From the Light of Heaven. And the track that I picked is called Brought to Ruin.
so fucking heavy. Ugh.
Yeah, I love that little section kind of towards the last third of the song where it just slows down and then there's like that brief moment of respite before it picks right back up and explodes. Yeah. You know, this is really catchy songwriting on top of being very beautiful melody and harshness from the black metal. It's just kind of all the things that I love mixed together in a very emotionally driven piece of music. And
honestly, I think this album does probably one of the best jobs at dynamics that I've ever heard in black metal. Just how they go back and forth like that. It's truly impressive.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, that does it for our picks for the episode. Let's move into our honorable mentions. Christian, I'll let you go first.
All righty. I will start with a band called Madhouse. Plead the Fifth. We have glam metal, 80s era metal from Austria. This is their fourth album from Rock of Angels Records, and if this is for fans of any 80s glam band, you will absolutely positively love this album. This just brought me straight back to the 1980s, and this album is a fun ride. It's a album that doesn't mean a whole lot. It's probably not going to make my end of year list, but it's a fun album. Then we have Philosophobia. The album is called The Constant Void. We have Prague this is an international band. This is their second album from Sensory Records, and this is for fans of Deathspell Omega, Ulcerate, or Oranzi Pazuzu. I think they're a little bit cleaner than any of those bands, but you will definitely find similarities there. Then we have Celestial Wizard. The album is called Regenesis. We have heavy/death metal. From Denver, Colorado. This is their third album from Scarlet Records. And if you like 3 Inches of Blood or, I don't know, Metal Church mixed with Judas Priest and Skeleton Witch, that's an
eclectic mixture.
This band, this band is so much like 3 Inches of Blood because they have that death metal or kind of screech. They actually have death metal vocals way more than the screechiness that 3 Inches of Blood have. So, I mean, they do have some quote-unquote clean for what it is, but whatever.
Right.
But it is, like, if you like 3 Inches of Blood, you will like this. Then we have Decadence Incarnate, Eternal Rebellion, and this here is an EP. Again, we have Melodeath and Thrash from Sweden. It didn't say what city. This is their second EP. And this is for fans of bands like Titan Blood out of Spain or Beharit or even Necrophobic. That'd probably be the one most people have heard. But if it's an EP and it, caught my attention, it must be pretty good. Then we have War Kings, the album Armageddon, power/heavy metal as an international band. This is their fifth album from Napalm Records. And most people already know who War Kings are. If you like Hammerfall, Halloween, Dream Evil, Bloodbound, any of those type of bands, War Kings is going to work. And people know that I do enjoy power metals, but this is the very first War Kings album that I've liked. So take that for what it's worth. I think they've leveled up. So if you were one of those people that like power metal but didn't really care for War Kings and thought they were a bit generic, this album may change your mind. Then we have the band Impureza. This is death metal mixed with flamenco guitar. And
it's interesting.
On the face of it, you're thinking, all right, that may not work. Would it work as a pick? No. Does it work as an honorable mention? Maybe.
It can
I don't know
work.
If I like
it
this
can
or
work.
not.
So I think, there's like a tiny little section in one Allegiant song where they do that. They have a little bit of flamenco guitar mixed in, and it works in a small section. I don't think it works for an entire album. I listened to this, and I got about halfway through, and I was just like, okay, well, there's some interesting ideas here, but I'm out. It's not that it's bad. It's not that it's technically bad or anything. It's just, it's a very specific kind of person that this music is for, and I'm not that person.
Yeah, and I may not be that person either. I appreciated the originality of it, and I could see this maybe working for somebody that, is looking for something off the beaten path, because you're not going to find a whole lot of metal bands playing flamenco guitar. So, take it for what it is. I didn't go through this, but they're from Orleans, France. This is their third album, and they're on Seasons of Mist, so they're not on a small label. And if you added flamenco to any of these bands, they would be what you kind of have. There's a little bit of septic flesh here. There's a little bit of Nile here. There's a little bit of Behemoth, maybe. Take that for what it's worth. You take any of those bands I just mentioned and add a very large dose of flamenco guitar, and you might like this. And I will freely admit this is not going to be for everybody, but if it sounds even remotely interesting, give it a shot. You never know. Then we have the band Erebor, Infinite Somnium. This is progressive tech death from Durham, England. Their second album, they are unsigned. And if you like Rivers of Nile, Persephone, Disillusion, Neobliviscaris, you are going to like Erebor. I figured you would have been you would have liked this.
I did like it. I didn't love it. I felt like it was a little inconsistent.
It had some bloat
between tracks.
It had some bloat,
but yeah, it was pretty good. It's definitely worthy of an honorable mention.
Yeah. Then we have Starlit Pyre, Veins of Sulfur, another EP. We have Melodeath from Bordeaux, France, another unsigned band. If you like bands like Aphonamer, Insomnium, or Omnium Gatherum, you're going to like Starlit Pyre. And then finally, and I absolutely love this album, and I probably gave this 20, 30 fucking listens, but Toxic Youth, Still Hungry. This is punk from Milan, Italy. If you like the Casualties, DRI, Toxic Holocaust, and that's in their metal sections, most of this is more like the Casualties or the punk era of DRI, or even Iron Reagan. Iron Reagan is probably good for fans for this. Yeah, you will definitely like this. And it's just been such a long time since I heard a really, really good punk album that I was like enamored with this. I was just like, fuck, it's been a while. I mean, I was a huge, huge punk fan in the 80s and 90s. Absolutely. I mean, I was a drummer in a punk band way, way, way back in the day called Studded Muffin. I definitely enjoyed it. And especially the more fun punk. Not a big Sex Pistols kind of guy, but I am a big fan of like, probably my favorite band is Circle Jerks. If you've never heard the album Wonderful, oh, holy shit, is that a fantastic album. But that's all I got.
All right. Well, I don't have nearly as many as you. As I said, it was a short couple of weeks and only a few standouts, really. So first up for me is the band Angerot. They put out an album called Seaphon. This is death metal from South Dakota. Their fourth full length since 2007. They have lots and lots of guest vocalists on this album, which I thought was kind of weird. But it's my first time hearing these guys. I really thought it was a unique and very interesting album.
I liked it a lot as well.
Yeah, I mean, I had it on repeat a whole bunch, and it was really neck and neck between this and the Stygian album for which one was going to end up as a pick and which one was going to end up as an honorable mention. And in the end, Stygian just won out because it's a little bit more concise. This one does have like the smallest amount of bloat, but it's a really fantastic album. I highly recommend checking it out. Next was the band Augmented Existence. They put out an album called Edifice of Mortal Struggle. Atmospheric black metal from Finland, their third full-length album since 2018. This will not be for everybody, but if you like atmospheric black metal, I think you'll find a lot to appreciate here. The vocals are a little bit raw. Well, the whole thing's a little bit raw, but the vocals are more raspy, I guess, than is typical in black metal, and that might turn some people off, but I liked it. It was really very much in my wheelhouse, and I listened to this one at least 5 or 6 times. It's a strong, strong album. Next was the band Meth Leopard. They put out an album called Gatekeeper. This is grindcore / death metal from Australia. Yeah, this one was one of those kind of unassuming albums. Like the first time I heard it, I was like, oh, that's pretty good, and I put it in the queue, and then didn't really return to it a whole lot, but I've listened to it 3 times, and every time I've listened to it, I've gone, man, I should have spent more time with this. Yeah. It's really, really good. So it's definitely one that I'll be spending more time with.
I probably listened to it probably about 10 times because I was in that punk vibe, and, grindcore does have a little bit of punk feel to it as well. Mm-hmm. And grindcore's really, really hit or miss with me. And this one here was a hit. And it probably didn't hurt that I really liked the name Meth Leopard. That is,
I thought that was funny.
Grindcore does such a great job of naming their bands.
I agree. But yeah, this is a really strong one, and you guys should check this out too. Next is the band Primal Frost, which I discovered early and Christian discovered late. It's coded as melodic death metal / power metal, But there's not a whole lot of power metal in it. And really, the only power metal parts are guitar driven. It's not the vocals whatsoever. It's very much a melodic death metal album with power metal guitars, which I love. That type of music works great for me. It's the singing that I don't like in power metal typically. But this is from Canada. It's their third full-length album since 2012. It's actually the solo project of a guy named Dean Arnold. Very, very impressive for being a solo project. This guy's a maestro on the guitar. What's his original band? I don't know.
All right.
I don't know if he's in anything else. I didn't see anything else on Metallum listed for him. I think it's just this.
All right.
But yeah, it's super impressive guitar work all throughout. And it's a fun Melodeath album with a lot of like soaring guitars, like way more than you typically get. So if you like that description I just gave it, check it out. I think you'll really enjoy this. And then my very last one is a band called Kronos Compulsion, Kronos Compulsion. They put out an album called Lawgiver. This is death metal from Denver, where every American death metal band seems to come from. Their debut
every thrash metal band, too.
2021.
Denver must be a hotbed, right? Yeah. Fuck.
It really is.
Think about all the great fucking bands coming out of Denver right now. Jesus Christ.
It's insane. I mean, Colorado has to be the place to be for
black metal, thrash metal, death metal. Jesus. Yeah.
But this thing musically is absolutely incredible. The vocal delivery is a little bit one note. There's not a lot of variety throughout. The singing style doesn't really have a lot of changes in it. And that sometimes works for me and sometimes works a little bit less for me. If you're okay with brutal death metal vocals the entire way through, I think you'll really love this. Even if you're not, I think you'll like the music because it's fantastic. It's just a little one note with the vocal stylings, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was not a fan, and specifically for that reason.
Yeah,
I like a little bit more variety.
I do too. But it's still, the music was so good that I had to mention it. That's why it's there. But anyways, that does it for honorable mentions. So let's move into our topic.
Alrighty.
So for this episode, I chose to talk about unusual merch that you might see at a concert. And the reason that I chose to talk about this is because all over all the metal news sites for the last couple weeks, everybody's been talking about Profanatica. They're on tour right now with Null and Unidad Trauma. And Paul Ledney is kind of mythological figure in the American black metal society. He's the drummer and vocalist for Profanatica, has a long history of like crazy antics and stuff. Most recently, he started selling vials of his own sperm at concerts. And the funny thing is, the very first time they posted a picture of it online, it was clear that they had one price and then they changed the price to $50, but there was no way to tell whether the price went up or down in the first picture. And there was actually a guy who purchased it and was talking about it on Reddit. Like, why would you buy that? Whatever. He's a big fan, obviously. And then the very next day, at their next stop on the tour, they put it out again, and this time it was $100. So I guess they decided that they could sell it for more, so they decided to sell it for more. Even funnier than Profanatica selling vials of cum, Null, who I'm a huge fan of, Jamie Eubanks decided that since they were getting away with selling bodily fluids, he could do the same thing. So he started selling small containers of his own blood, which I think is even more crazy. And then to go even a step beyond that, Unidad Trauma, a week later, decided that they were going to sell cups of piss. So they're selling cups of piss at their booth. So I think, that's just a funny thing, and the band's, playing off of each other as they're on this tour together.
Quick question. If you buy the band a beer, can you get that glass of piss for free?
See, I don't know. I don't know. You have to talk to them.
Technically, they're only renting the beer, right?
That's true.
So
you probably have to buy a cup for them too. Well, it is, to a non-metalhead, to somebody who's not, well versed in black metal and like the crazy shit that has happened in the history of black metal. This seems like a very gross thing.
Oh yeah.
And of course, I saw a lot of commentary online about normies or metalcore fans that aren't familiar with like the darker side of metal. And they're just like, why would anybody buy that? That's so gross, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know what the guy's going to do with it. Maybe he's going to try to clone Paul Maybe he's going to impregnate his girlfriend. Maybe he's just going to wear it on his neck, for the rest of his life. Who knows? If you like somebody's music enough to buy their spunk, like, you're a true fan, I guess. I mean, he can claim the title of being their biggest fan. But it just got me thinking.
I think what makes this topic so, perfect for the show is just the whole idea that I'm willing to bet most of the people listening to this, if they go to a show and they saw this guy selling a vial of sperm, they'd be like, huh, that's strange. Oh, look at that shirt. And that would be the end of it. You know what I mean? But it's the normies that are like, oh my God, what the fuck? Everybody else is just kind of like, all right, that's kind of weird, but hey, you do you, boo, and just move on. I would have never thought that was odd. I would have thought it was odd, but I would have been like, all right, that's definitely interesting, but
it's not outside of the realm of what you would expect to see from Paul Ledney at a Pro Fanatica show, right?
No.
You'd be like, okay, well, that's a new take on Paul's antics. Yeah, why not? I'm not going to pay $50 for it. Maybe I'll buy a shirt. But yeah, you're right. The average person is just, that sounds filthy and disgusting. And why would you ever even support this band kind of thing?
Yep.
And if you get a chance to go and read the Reddit thread or read any of the comments and any of the, articles that have been posted, it's worth your time. They're very funny. I've been laughing at them all week. It's been a bright spot in a couple of bleak weeks. So.
Yep.
But anyhow, that was the impetus for this as our topic. And so personally, I have not seen that many odd things at merch tables. I mean, you go to a merch booth and you see, records and CDs and shirts, and maybe you'll see a cooking apron. Maybe you'll see koozies, or you'll see a weed grinder, or you'll see bands might be selling mugs or keychains, or I've even seen branded alcohol, they have their own brand of whiskey or something, and they're selling that at their booth, or hot sauce. I've seen hot sauce. And some of those are a little bit out of the norm from what you see, because it's usually just patches, pens, and shirts. But none of those are super weird. So I started looking online to see what the weird things are. Personally, the weirdest thing I've seen is condoms. And I know there's a lot of bands that have done that, but when I saw it, it was 200 stab wounds, which made me laugh, because 200 stab wounds with a condom, it writes its own joke, So, personally, I haven't seen that many bizarre things, but I thought it was worth diving down this hole and seeing what we could find. So I'm just going to read off the list of things I found. If anything sounds interesting, Christian, feel free to jump in and we can talk more about it. And then I'll let you talk about the ones that you were able to think of as well. First of all, Night Shift merch. I'm sure you guys are familiar with them. They sell different band merch for a lot of bands that are in their catalog. They sell knives, a lot of different variety of knives, pocket knives, big Bowie knives, branded with the band's logo or designed by the band or whatever it might be. That's actually kind of cool. I wouldn't mind owning a pocket knife branded by a band I love, but that's kind of an uncommon thing. The band Vulvodynia, they sell makeup that's branded by them, which I think is interesting. Something you don't see at a lot of death metal shows for sure.
Oh, definitely not.
There's a hardcore band called Bro Job, which I'm sure you've heard of, even if you don't listen to them. They sell branded butt plugs, which is on par for their brand.
Which I'm still kind of trying to figure out. You know what? I bet you we would probably sell a lot of butt plugs if we had them at the show. What sort of metalhead is give me that shirt and that butt plug. We're good to go. I don't know. I don't quite get it, but...
Well, there's a lot of other bands that sell dildos, too. Rammstein's on my list. They've been selling dildos since their first show, and they use them when their stage act as well. I know Marilyn Manson sold dildos in the past. I know, a lot of bands have. So, it's kind of a weird place to buy a sex toy.
Maybe it's because I'm old. Because I grew up in an era where the porn shop down the street, you only went in there with a fucking trench coat and a fucking... mask and everywhere else. You only went in there and you got your shit, you got the fuck out of there. You didn't want anybody watching you walk in and out of there. So now, butt plugs at the show? Well, maybe later.
Just swinging the dildos over their head while they're moshing.
Don't do that at a Windrose show, where they have those fake battle axes and shit.
Right.
And there's one guy out there with just a fucking dildo.
Takes on a whole new meaning when you're trying to LARP or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
One thing that I saw come up multiple times was the Archspire shower curtain. Apparently at Archspire shows, you could buy a shower curtain. I thought that was pretty interesting. Primus apparently used to sell chocolate bars that were branded with their logo, which I think is pretty cool.
I don't know if I would buy a chocolate bar from...
I don't know if I'd buy a Primus chocolate bar either, but who knows. Sidon did that Game Boy cartridge release, and it's basically a working Game Boy cartridge that you can put in your Game Boy, and it plays their music, in 8-bit format on the Game Boy, which I think is kind of interesting. They also released Lego figure versions of themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely original.
And then the last one that I have is Mastodon apparently partnered with a pickle company, and they were selling Mastodon pickles at their concerts. Which,
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, on my list, the very first thing on my list was just lots and lots of bands doing the licensed condom thing. But like you, I do have to admit the 200 stab wounds is just perfect. That's perfect licensing right there. And could you imagine you're just looking for a condom, you don't know the band, and you're just, all right, well, we have Durex and we have 200 stab. Oh, fuck yes, 200 stab wounds it is.
So I went to this knockoff dollar store one time when I was in college, and they had condoms there, and the brand was called Finally.
Jesus Christ, Finally?
I laughed so hard. I didn't buy any, but I should have, because I've brought that story up so many times because it makes me laugh. But yeah, the brand was called Finally.
There's no way those are... I would not trust any sort of condom called Finally. Like, what the fuck? No,
oh man,
that's that would right there along with a condom name Mistake. You don't want that either. But I don't think I've seen anything too outrageous at shows. But it could just be one of those things that, like I was saying, most metalheads would probably just look at it and be like, all right, that's kind of weird, but ooh, look at that shirt, and it's just gone. But I did find, did you know Metallica has their own Monopoly game?
I did not, but that doesn't surprise me.
Yes, they do. It's a fully licensed Monopoly game for Metallica. So, like, if you're a big fan, I don't know if, like, the streets are labeled for, or if it's just, I'm assuming it would be. I didn't look too close on it.
Everything's licensed, so instead of pass and go, you pass, yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Pass, collect $200.
Yep. And, of course, you can't go anywhere merch related without talking about Kiss. They have their own condoms with a K. They have their own casket with a K.
They have Christmas lights. I used to have a coworker who loved Kiss, and I used to buy him Kiss shit for Christmas every single year. And I found some really bizarre, like they have Christmas lights. They have like hot pads for your stove. Anything you can think of that you can slap Gene's face on, you can find it.
I'm willing to bet you did not know that there is a Kiss Hello Kitty.
I did, because he has it, because I bought it for him.
Oh, did you? Oh, well, there you go. Fully branded, fucking Kiss makeup and the whole 9 yards. It looks fucking crazy. Did you know that there's a Kiss viewfinder? The old viewfinders.
I did not, but that doesn't surprise me.
There is, and I don't know if it comes with things you can look at, or I don't know. But that was one of the things
it's just all pictures of Gene's tongue.
Yeah, probably. Then I came across Flesh God Apocalypse Pasta.
All right.
It came out in 2013. They have all different kinds of pasta. They don't just like settle with bow tie or spaghetti noodles. I don't know. They have all different kinds. And when I saw that, I just thought to myself, okay, now we just need Luca Turilli or Lacuna Coil to come up with a tomato sauce, and they could go on tour together and maybe cook for people. Yeah, that'd be kind of awesome. Yeah. So if you could go to a Flesh God Apocalypse show and get dinner, yeah, why not? Then I came across this Misfits motocross wear. But, although they're certainly not above putting that Fiend skull logo that they have on just about anything to make a buck, so I'm not all that surprised, because I've seen that logo on hundreds of things at this point. I don't know if they're getting paid for all of it. I wouldn't doubt if, there's a lot of, underground shit going out there as well, but
Probably.
You never know. Now, this here isn't metal, but I came across this Weezer fake mustache set. And honestly, the only reason I mention it is I want people to go take a look at this. Just type in Weezer mustache set and tell me this does not look like dog turds.
It does.
They look exactly like dog turds. And
100%. Yep.
I just thought that was odd. Speaking of makeup, did you know Alice Cooper has Whiplash, quote, mascara? Whiplash mascara.
No.
And if you've seen Alice's makeup, it would make you question if, he should be in the business of selling makeup, because that eye look is not attractive.
It's
so
something.
I don't know. It's something. Motley Crue, Dr. Feelgood stethoscope. And this is actually a real functioning stethoscope. Unlike them going through the motions anytime they're on stage in the last decade. So at least the stethoscope is real. The music that they're playing at the show may not be probably pre-recorded, but hey. Then, of course, the Weird Al Chia Pet.
I remember those.
Then, of course, one of my final ones is Ozzy. There's an Ozzy bat that has a detachable head. And, if you were wanting to, relive those carefree days as a youngster back in 1982 in Des Moines, it will pair nicely with Ozzy's. He's got a set of grill tools. And if you're wondering what that implies, well, it just means that every tool has Ozzy rules written on it, as well as a branding iron that comes along with it, saying that if you want to get really serious, so you can brand your meat with Ozzy's logo. And then finally, probably the best piece of merch that I came across was Tenacious D selling a cum rag. And they sell it at their shows, and there's a sign right next to it that says, because everything else is just a cum rag. So,
I feel like we
get
came
a Tenacious
full
D
circle on that one a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe Paul needs to buy one.
Yeah. I'm sure he has some spillage. You're not going to get it in that tiny little vial in one shot.
No, it's probably on the towel that he uses to dry his face while he's drumming, to be honest. All right. Well, that was fun. It was a nice little experiment to look up some of these, and I'm sure we missed a ton of stuff. I mean, any of our listeners that have seen really bizarre or interesting things at merch booths for bands you've seen, let us know. We'd love to hear, some stories or some things that you've seen that are a little outside of the norm. I'm sure there's a lot that we're not even aware of.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure there's tons. There's people out there that, like Gene Simmons has made a whole career out of trying to make an extra buck.
Yeah.
And hey, I can't fault him for it. Hey, make the money while you can. There's a bunch of broke-ass fucking musicians out there right now that are wishing they had half his money.
That's very true. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move into our pickups. I'll let you go first, Christian.
All righty. I have a whole bunch of stuff on the way. Well, not a whole bunch, but I have some stuff on the way. But what arrived this week is my Helm's Deep vinyl. I think I mentioned this on the last show. The Death Symbolic album and the Sodom the Arsonist album. Both of those came in. They were on the way here last time. And I did get this, which is super, super awesome. You'll have to explain it to the folks out there.
Your signed Da Pope picture?
Yeah, I have I got this at a Goodwill. There was a picture of Pope Francis, obviously before he passed away. And let's just say I got it signed. And the sign says, "Hey, bro, to my fave atheist on this special bro-occasion, rock on, Da Pope." So you
Nice.
can tell me, maybe the guy who signed it maybe wasn't the Pope. I don't know. I mean, he is dead. So, more than likely that wasn't the Pope. But who knows?
More than likely, but it's nice to pretend.
Yeah, either way. And I have a whole autographed picture of Pope Francis. And I'll fight anybody that says it's not real.
All right. You need to get a shirt made with it and then wear it to shows.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, bro. Yeah.
All right. Well, as for me, I had a couple of albums come in. My Jade album finally showed up. My Puterion album finally showed up. And then my pre-order of the new I.C.E. album came. And that one's been on repeat on my player for a while. I did pre-order the Weald and Woe album. I mentioned earlier the Cattle Decapitation tour. It's actually a great tour. It's got Cattle Decapitation, Aborted, Frozen Soul, and Tribal Gaze. I'm not really familiar with Tribal Gaze, but I love the other three bands, so it's a pretty good lineup. And they're playing, like I said, Death Atlas in their entirety. So very excited for that show. They're coming through here in November. I think they're going to be in your neck of the woods at some point too, Christian.
All right.
I don't know if you've looked.
I'll definitely have to check that out.
Yeah. But that's pretty much it. Like I said, it's been a slow 2 weeks as far as new releases and everything. So not a whole lot of pickups, but I'm sure that'll change in the coming weeks because there's a lot of stuff I'm looking forward to. But let's go ahead and move into our extreme submission. So this is actually a band called Kriyul or Kriyul. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Kriyul. They put out an album called Artifact back in June. This is black metal from Nebraska, their third full-length album since 2024. It's a two-piece band. There's two guys. One of them is named Head Splitter. He does all the instruments. And then there's a guy named Nampat who does all the vocals. These guys are currently unsigned. Christian actually met Head Splitter at one of the Stygian shows he went to a couple weeks ago. And so he remembered Christian. He reached out to me via email and sent me a link to their latest album. And I actually really dig it. It's pretty straightforward black metal, a little bit lo-fi, but I like that. Some of the tracks have clean singing, which I liked some of the clean singing better than other places, but your tolerance for clean singing might be completely different than mine. But overall, it's a really good album. Really shows a lot of potential. There's a lot of great ideas here. I enjoyed it. I'll definitely listen to it some more. Did you get a chance to check out any of this?
I probably didn't like it as much as you, but that's strictly only because of the production. And again, I'm slowly but surely getting over that. It's a work in progress, so to speak. But yeah, there's definitely some really good ideas here. And it just always amazes me when you run into people and then you hear their music and they seem so unassuming. And then the music is so legit good that, and like, look, we all know Head Splitter and Splatterpunk, and these guys, they have these super violent names, and then you hear, some pretty music coming from them, and like obviously the whole evil over the top image, and about everything, and these are some of the nicest people you'll ever meet.
It's just the culture.
It's just the whole thing. But yeah, it's kind of funny because I met the guy, and then you hear his music, and you would think he'd be way meaner or something in person, I guess. Just to keep with the whole vibe. It's all just part of it. And yeah, there's some really, really good ideas here.
I agree. There's tons of potential here. And I'm looking forward to see what they do next, because this is a pretty good release early on in their careers. They've only been doing this as a band for 2 years now. I expect they'll just continue to get better. But majority of this album I very much liked. I'd probably rate it like an 8 out of 10. But anyways, we'll let our audience hear it as well, and hopefully they'll enjoy it and check out the full album. Again, the band name is Kriyul or Kriyul, Kriyul. The name of the album is Artifact. And the track that we're going to play is called Unrighteous. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media. We're available everywhere as @HarshVocalSite. And leave us reviews on all the podcast apps if you enjoy the show. Reviews help us find new listeners, which helps us grow. Helps us find more bands to discover and more interviews to set up and everything else too. So please leave us reviews if you can. Otherwise, we'll see you back in a couple weeks.
All right, let's go for metal.
All right, bye guys.